My name is Jack Cascione. I'm the pastor of Redeemer Lutheran Church in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. These ladies here next to me invited me out here to their church, Our Redeemer Lutheran Church, here in Oakland, California. And we all met for the first time yesterday. And to my left, I'll start, here's Portia Ridgeway, Mary Ann Hill, and this is Celia, the secretary, and this is Sharon Bowles. And these ladies are being sued by 6,200 congregations of the Lutheran Church-Missouri Synod for their church property. There are 15 members of this congregation. We're sitting in the chancel of this church that was built in 1925 here in Oakland, and now the Synod is suing them because they wanted to leave the Synod. The Synod said, we're not going to give you a pastor, we want you to close. They decided, we're going to leave the Synod and become independent. And now, with the direction of President Kieschnick and his attorney, Sherri Strand, who has signed this lawsuit I have from my hand, it's 19 pages. They have to appear in court on March 22nd, 2010, here in Alameda County. And the Synod is suing each of them individually out of their own personal funds for this church property. So I thought this is an opportunity for members of Lutheran Church-Missouri Synod to get to see former members they're suing. This lady next to me here, Portia Ridgeway, was a member of the LWML. And now members of the LWML can see one of their members that they're now suing for everything she's got. And I'm going to ask her a question here. What we're going to do here is, while we're sitting in this chancel, we're going to pass around one of those lavalier mics, you know, that you often see in the churches that pastors use. I'm going to ask them questions. And the first question I'm going to ask Portia is, you must be the first church in the history of the Missouri Synod that's being sued. It says right here in this lawsuit, you're being sued. One of the reasons is because you're not using a traditional hymn book or a traditional liturgy.
And I don't understand how they can tell the court all these lies about us. We've been using the hymnals for over 25 years. They're in the pew right now. You can take a look at them.
Oh, you're holding one right there.
Yes. We only use the Divine to worship because that's the only one that we really know. Well,
I know that Pastor Mayer of the Lutheran Church-Missouri Synod preached here the other week, and he said you all sang Divine Service Setting 2 beautifully. And thank you. And now we're going to pass the microphone over to Sharon. Sharon is over there on the end. This is Sharon Bowles. I understand that the California, Hawaii, Nevada District President, Robert Newton, has refused to give you a pastor since your pastor retired on January 1st, 2003. I know he was going to retire sooner than that, but you insisted that that pastor stay at least through Christmas. And the district then told you to close with dignity.
That is correct. Our Constitution says that the district can get the property if we totally disband. District President Newton says that we are an unhealthy church and that he would never give us a pastor. Also, President Newton allowed Ron Lee, who was our former president and treasurer at our church, to preach and to serve us communion. Newton also said that any saint could preach and serve communion. And I, at that time, said to him, does that include women? And he said, yes.
You know, that's one of the interesting parts about this lawsuit, because they're saying they're going to sue you because you let a woman preach here after you've already left the Synod, and they led you to believe it was acceptable, and after they led you to believe it's acceptable, then they sue you because you did it. And I know that you're certainly open to men preaching. You just can't find the right man to preach it because you accepted Pastor Mayer. And I understand the other week, last Sunday, you had Bruce Ridgeway preach. He read a sermon out of one of Walter Mayer's sermon books. That happened here just this past Sunday. Am I correct in that?
That is correct.
And my next question is to Mary Ann Hill.
Yes.
Now, dear Mary Ann, by the way, how long have you been a member of this church, Mary Ann?
How long? I've been a member of this church, I think, for since 2003. I believe.
And how about you, Sharon? How long have you been a member?
Since 1980.
1980. And how about you? How about you, Celia?
1993.
93. And how about you, Portia?
1964.
You've been here since 1964.
Yes, sir.
All right. And now to Mary Ann Hill. This congregation has spent already $220,000 defending itself against the lawsuit filed by the Lutheran Church-Missouri Synod against this church. How are you getting the money to defend yourself?
Well, this has been a very big problem. That's a large amount of money. Our former President Ron Lee didn't renew the liability insurance for church officers with Church Mutual before he left, so that eliminated one resource of funding. He is the one the district says is the faithful Christian who is entitled to the church property. LCMS President Kieschnick is sending out the Synod's attorney, Sherri Strand, to sue us, and they pay for all of Ron Lee's legal expenses, which was more than our $220,000. And they also keep sending Sherri Strand out here to keep an eye on things.
Well, that's got to be then a little more expensive for them than it is for you, and you've already run up $220,000 over the past 2 years, and I know that you're going to need hundreds of thousands more to defend yourselves. They're going to try to break this place. They're trying to break all of you personally, aren't they?
They are.
And so members are pulling the money out of their own pockets to defend themselves. I know that you were all shocked. Now, by the way, we all just met for the first time yesterday. And they were all shocked to know that in 2007, the Lutheran Church-Missouri Synod passed a resolution, 802A, that defended the right of members to use the dispute resolution process and said that there would be exclusive use of this process and that there wouldn't be any suing in court. But then at the end of the resolution, they included, and this by the design of the Synod's Council of District Presidents and President Kieschnick, they included an exception, except that they can sue for property. No lawsuits. So the whole Synod Convention 2007 puts out this big statement, total hypocrisy, about how wrong it is to sue except for property. So these people can be sued while you're passing the resolution.